Greetings, 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 and joining us on behalf of our amazing Chicago high school students and HBCU business entrepreneur and performing arts students from Howard, Hampton, and Clark Atlanta University is a very special guest. This young lady is an iconic gospel award nominated singer, songwriter, educator, author, extraordinaire. Founder of the Moho Media Online LLC, the multi-faceted media company that's currently crushing the competition down in the Deep South. She is one of the top performing arts greats and a proud 186-year legacy of the ATL. She is the real-life version of Wonder Woman, the one, the only Miss Angela Monique.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that gracious introduction. Wow. Thank you, Mr. Coleman.
No, thank you. So before I delve into the Q&A, you have such a broad fan base with the youth here in Chicago. Have you personally ever been to Chicago?
I have not, but I am definitely looking forward to going. Actually, one of my professional sororities is Phi Delta Kappa. It's an educational sorority. It's based in Chicago. So I definitely look forward to visiting.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, so we owe you an invite. So I'll send you our curriculum schedule once everything is completed by the end of next week, and I'll send that schedule over to you, our spring and summer
awesome.
Situation. So yeah, definitely. So the first couple of questions is from Shakira. Who was your favorite music artist growing up, and or did you have a favorite music teacher to help motivate you, whether it be in middle school or high school?
So thank you, Shakira, first off. It's a pleasure just to be here and answer your question. For sure, the great Whitney Houston was a big inspiration for me. You know, she's one of the biggest voices in the entire music world. Mariah Carey as well, who is a songwriter as well as another big voice. And as a young girl, like that really moved me because there was passion behind the music, and just to know that that type of music was timeless. I always gravitated to that soul from those two people in particular. As far as a music teacher, I did go to a performing arts school, much like you, Shakira. It was North Atlanta High School in Atlanta. And it's the late Rusha Evans. She passed away a few years ago, but she was just very well known in the school community as well as the performing arts community. She sung opera in her own right. And so I received that classical training from her. I got both sides. So a lot of my confidence was built from Miss Rusha Evans, but she also was a stickler. Like if it wasn't right, if it wasn't tight, she's like, no, that's a hot mess. Do that again. So I learned a lot of discipline from her.
Okay. What is your, this question is from Aaron. What is your dream project 5 years from now?
Thank you again, Aaron. So my dream project is definitely writing a screenplay. So my other passion is definitely writing, right? It's bridging the writing with music into maybe a musical or just turning it into a screenplay. I definitely is working because right now I'm in New York. So right now I'm trying to bridge relationships and try to make that dream a reality right now. And it's in the makings, God willing. So that's definitely my dream project, just to have that stage play musical set up. Hopefully many of you, if you're interested, you would be a part of it, you know, just to make sure that the arts is still alive and well, because it's a great outlet. And I'm very big on visuals and music to send out a message. And so I think that's a great way of bridging all of my passions and doing that.
Okay. Aaron's other question is, what is a typical day like for you?
Busy, Aaron. That was Aaron again, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, very, very busy. So alongside with me being an artist, an educator, I'm also a mom. So I would say the beginning of my day is always taking a moment to pray, set my intentions, because there's so much that, we all experience, whether you're young, you're old, we all are going through life together, and life can be unpredictable. So I think it's very important to start off with the foundation of just like prayer, hearing from God, and also speaking affirmations. Once I do that, I round my kids, get them together, drop them off at school. So it's a lot of commuting, dropping off. I also serve as not a special needs teacher, but an ENL teacher. So I teach English for speakers of other languages. And so that's my way of giving back. I also incorporate music in that. So I work with special needs kids that are also, a lot of them are immigrants here in New York. And in doing that, it's a lot of planning, it's a lot of hustle and bustle. And then I have this break in between where I also check my emails, because I run my own business, Mojo Media Online. Thank God I do have a team that I have in place. So a lot of things are delegated during those times when I am serving students and children. And then once that's over, round up my kids, take them to where they need to be. And a lot of times I have that time by myself to just be creative. So if there's a project that I need to follow up on, I'll try to, nip that in the bud. But I try to get most of my creative projects done on the weekend. Aside from Sunday is like family day. But Saturdays are usually my days where I just come and I either go to the studio or I start writing music here at home, where I have my own little studio here at home. And that's pretty much what it is. It's just a lot of hustle and bustle, but by God's grace, we make it happen.
Kalia's question is, what was the inspiration behind Mojo Media Online?
So, big up to Clark Atlanta University. Of course, that is where I graduated from. So I actually majored in journalism. And again, the writing portion, that was my passion. From there, a lot of great experiences. I worked with Upscale Magazine. That was my first internship. And then I began writing professionally. One of my favorite, let me be careful because I have a lot of favorites at Clark Atlanta, but one of my biggest inspirational professor was Dr. McJunkins, or Mr. McJunkins, and Professor Mitchell. They're also great journalists. I mean, Professor McJunkins, we call him Professor Mac. He actually interviewed Malcolm X as a young man in college. And then, of course, Professor Mitchell, she also works in politics, and she worked for many, many papers. So I say that to say I was around a lot of great, and it gave me that confidence that, wow, as African Americans, not only do we have a voice through the arts, through writing, through journalism, but we can have our own, like we can change the narratives, and so I got a lot of that training actually at Clark Atlanta University. So by the time I interned and I worked at different companies, when I got older, I said, you know what, I should start my own media business. And it also was another outlet for me because, of course, media encompasses so much. It's radio, it's TV, it's writing, newspaper. That's right down my alley because I'm very much involved in the arts. So I just bridged all that together, but it's also an avenue for me to change the narrative and promote positivity through media, which I feel is needed. So that's really where my groundwork started at Clark Atlanta University, and just being confident in starting my own and doing my own thing, starting my own lane.
Oh, and Kalia's, you pretty much answered her second question, which was, how did your HBCU experience at Clark Atlanta, Go Lady Panthers, help in your evolution, through your career, through your illustrious career? But you pretty much answered like 90% of the question already.
And I will add this to that, Kalia. So there's so many opinions, right, surrounding HBCU. I can only speak for myself. I will say you develop lifelong friendships, business relationships when you go to an HBCU. Why? Because to this day, I mentioned Professor Mack. He follows my career. He connects with me on Facebook, and he's like, if you ever need anything, I'm so proud of you, I'm here. Other schools are great, But I just feel like it's nothing like going to an HBCU because it is a family. You definitely feel supported, and you're supported by a lot of successful people that look like you. So I just wanted to add that. That's one benefit that I found with going to a HBCU, Clark Atlanta in particular.
This question is from Sierra. How important has time management been throughout your illustrious career?
Very important. As I probably explained, I do a lot of things, but it's an extension of me. So, I mean, I guess to me it comes easy, but on the outside, it's like, that's a lot of stuff. What is very important is that I have a calendar. Like I'm the queen of having like notebooks, having planners, and I will write out for that day what's most important. So with time management, I think one of the biggest things is prioritizing what is most pressing and what is most important for that day. And I write that out. And once that's done, if there's, time for other things, then it's like, okay, I have time to do this now. I have time to do that. But you have to be disciplined, and you have to have just have organization. Otherwise, you end up procrastinating. Nothing gets done if you don't prioritize and make it reasonable. For example, if I know that Wednesdays, my daughters have dance class and they have their own activities. I'm not going to try to plan or agree to any project on a Wednesday because that's that time where I know my kids have their own activities and I leave room for things to, surprises to happen. I don't want to be stressed. So really the key is prioritizing with time management.
Okay. The last couple of questions we have, this one is from Hope. She wanted to know, you're considered a role model and trailblazer to so many young ladies trying to get into the arts. What advice do you have for those that aspire to be the next you?
Oh, wow. And what was her name again?
Hope.
Hope. Hi, Hope. Thank you for that question. Wow. So thank you for that, for one. I think it's a big responsibility in being considered a role model. I am very mindful of what I do because, again, one of the things that I feel like is part of my purpose is to kind of, I don't want to say set a standard, but whatever I produce, it needs to be productive and it needs to be something that's inspiring and helpful. I'm not here to add to any negativity or to be destructive. But to that part where you said, the next me, I think it's very important to not look at it being the next me. Be the best you. My thing is to just inspire, to try to, even with this platform, try to give helpful information, but you take ownership of what I'm saying and make it your own. How does it apply to your life? Whatever I'm doing that inspires you, let it be a catalyst or something that gives you the confidence into creating your own lane. Because you know what? They can have a million me's, they can have a million Mr. Colemans, and that's not as productive. It's only one you. We need individuals. We need you to tap into what makes you special and what do you bring to this world. Because we all have something positive inside of us. We all have greatness and light inside of us. Tap into your passions, your light, and create that lane. And guess what? People like me, people like Mr. Coleman, we're going to root and support you all the way. So that is what I would say when it comes to being a role model. Tap into your own lane and see what you can do to help someone else. Yeah.
Amen to that for sure. Where can us Chicagoans, third largest city in the world, go to for that all things, everything your upcoming 2023 projects, events, collaboratives, the Mojo Media Online empire? Where can we go for that all things, everything you, so that we can step up to the plate in big numbers and support?
Thank you. I appreciate that. So I guess the easiest thing is just to go to Angela. It's -Monique.com. If you go to that website, you find music. You also have a link to Mojo Media Online. That's a separate email, a separate website in itself. But everything's at Angela-Monique.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at Angela_F Lewis. So at Angela_F Lewis. That's my Instagram handle. And just for the sake of putting it out there, the Mojo Media website is simply mojomediaonline.com.
It's easy breezy like the commercial.
Yes. And to my project, so it is Love Month. It's February. I do have a new single coming out, and it's actually called All For Me. It's a gospel song, really just talking about the love of God, the love of Christ, and that will be coming out February 20th.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah, in a couple of days.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we will, like I said before, for our upcoming event, we'll send you the press release probably by Monday. And then I'll also, towards the end of this coming week, which will be Friday, send you our remaining curriculum schedule that runs through the summer, August of this year. So any day or two that you're able to come out to Chicago, please give us a heads up once I send you the schedule, because students would love to meet you in person.
Absolutely. And I would love to meet them too. Thank you again for this platform. Blessings to everyone. Just know that there's greatness inside of you. And thank you for everything you're doing, Mr. Coleman.
No, thank you. Keep up the great work. We're rooting for you all the way in the Windy City.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a blessed weekend.
You too. Take care.
All right now.